I never thought that it'd be so simple, but I found a way, I found a way. If you open up your eyes, see what's inside. It's gonna take some time to realize. Oh, ow! But if you look inside, I'm sure you'll find. Brothers from another mother. Wait.
Drake and Josh.
Did they? They weren't brothers from another mother. They were brothers from another mother on that show, weren't they?
I thought they were brothers.
Josh's dad married Drake's mom, right? Is that what it was?
I think so.
I can't remember. What a great show.
One of them was from one of the parents, and the other one was from the other parent.
So two families join to create one super family. And I'm not talking about Brady Bunch size family. I'm talking about just two parents and three kids. Amanda Cosgrove was in there too somehow. What was her name? The sister? Do you remember? There's Drake, Josh, and
Susie.
What's not her name?
Becky.
We could look this up on Google, but that's a waste of time.
That's boring. Who wants to look things up on Google anymore?
I like to look things up on Google all the time, but we got a show to run here. This is American Brews and Tunes.
Heck yeah, it is not Drake and Josh.
Here's a theme song, you know it's not a mean song. It's a good song, just as it should song. American Brews and Tunes. Shibbity-beeby-dow!
We're back for another episode of Drake and Josh.
Yeah, I'm Drake.
I'm Josh. Just kidding. This is American Brews and Tunes in case the theme song didn't tip you off.
I'm sure it did.
My name is Stephen Johnston.
And my name is Jesse Titus.
As you all remember from last week, we had reviewed the debut self-titled album from Pup.
What?
And we had the one-man band, which is from the brewery Bearded Iris, and it is a barrel-aged barley wine. This week, we
English
are
barley
having
wine,
our part 2 to the episode, and
yes,
we are going to be reviewing Morbid Stuff, the third and most recent release from Pup. And we are going to be trying another barrel-aged beer from Bearded Iris.
Ooh.
This one is called the Rat-A-Tat.
You mean the
Rat-A-Tat?
Rat-A-Tat?
No, not Rat-A-Tat. Rat-A-Tat.
Rat-A-Tat.
Rat-A-Tat. This is a barrel-aged
Rat-A-Tat.
stout. Ooh.
I forgot about the cool drawings on these bottles.
These bottles have really cool drawings. And
really
they're almost
looking drawings.
I feel like they're like it's got a matte paint on the glass.
On the bottle, yeah. But it definitely is glass. Like you can see, I think whenever we opened the one last week, you could definitely still see that it was just a dark brown bottle on the inside, but then there was just some weird
They
finish.
coat it with something.
Yeah.
But here's the description of the Rat-A-Tat. It says a blended cadence of 3 stouts thoughtfully aged for 9 to 24 months in 20-year wheated bourbon and 13-year rye barrels.
Oh.
So it's a combination of a bunch of
2
stouts.
barrels.
In a way that, like, if you ever have like a blended whiskey, most whiskeys probably are blended unless you have a single barrel.
Oh, right.
They're normally blended. They're married from a bunch of different barrels.
Yeah.
So this is a couple different barrels of the stouts they're making from different barrels. There's Pappy Van Winkle barrels. That's a 20-year, and I'm not really sure where the rye barrels are, but they came to that, and they blended them together to make one super barrel.
One super barrel-aged stout.
Now, if you remember from last week, like we had said already, we had the one-man band, the English barley wine that was also barrel-aged.
Yep.
What did we have to say about that one again?
We said it was a really nice, like, woody flavor from the barrel aging. Like, you could literally, you smelled the bourbon, and you could taste the wood, and the wood kind of gave it a nice sweetness. Yeah. And there was a nice dark fruit flavor as well. Kind of reminiscent, in my opinion, of raisins.
I could see that raisins, but I think that barrel flavor really came through.
Yeah, it was very, very strong.
Here's what Untapped has to say about Rat-A-Tat. I think it expands upon the bottle. It says, a blended cadence of 3 stouts aged 9 to 24 months in 20-year Pappy Van Winkle bourbon and 13-year Van Winkle Family Reserve rye barrels. Expect interwoven notes of dark chocolate mousse, brandied cherries, and creme brulee.
Oh, that
So,
sounds nice.
I think this will have a little bit of the stout sweetness. That's what I'm
Yeah.
expecting. So it might blur the bourbon flavors a little
I'm
bit.
really hoping that the brandy cherries come through.
We'll see.
I'm really hoping they do. Like those
Cordial cherries? Chocolate covered cherries? Is that what we're talking about?
yeah.
Yeah.
Those?
Yeah.
I kind of hope that it tastes like that except less cherry.
Less sweet.
Yeah.
Those things are decadently sweet.
Yes.
Let's give it a crack and let's go down that road. Now, already after pouring this beer, it looks 100% different from the previous beer. Like we had said on the last episode, the barley wine was kind of like a darker apple cider, like that cloudy
the color of it. Yeah.
This looks like a standard stout.
Yep.
Super dark, not
Really
like
dark.
not sludgy like the Evil Twin stouts, but it's definitely dark, and it's got a very small
Very slight head.
tan head,
Yep.
like a dark brown head actually.
Dark brown.
And
head.
I'd say it's even more of a lacing as opposed to a head.
There's a unicorn in mine.
Well, there's not a unicorn in mine.
Oh, it's gone.
Mine's a dinosaur. Oh, it
Are you
changed.
talking about the
We're looking at clouds in our beer.
look? Look, there's a pig nose in mine.
There is a pig nose in Jesse's, I can confirm. What do you get off the smell? I'm not getting all super stouty smells, but I'm getting those barrel smells that we also got from the barley wine.
But as we suspected in the last episode, that the barrel aged smell, the bourbon smell, is kind of subdued a little bit due to the stout.
Yeah, so
the personalities of a stout.
that's what we predicted for this, correct? Because we're saying stouts typically will overpower it a little bit, even though it's a good catalyst.
Yeah, but
Last week was
you still get a little bit of that.
Yeah, I don't think it
barrel-aging
smells
smell.
as bourbony, as boozy, as woody as the barley wine.
No,
but
it doesn't.
I can get those notes.
Yeah, for sure.
It just has the added layer of stout.
So why don't we taste it?
Yeah, let's do it. As we always say on American Brews and Tunes, down the hatch, pup style.
I got distracted by the by the foam in my glass. It looks like Humpty Dumpty now.
You know how last week when we had said that the barley wine was not sweet like the other big stouts that we have had from Bearded Iris?
Yeah.
This also is not sweet at all.
Ooh, the
bourbon comes
bourbon
through
really comes
nice.
through. Yeah.
I'd say more bourbon, less wood.
Yes.
Whereas last week on the barley wine was more wood flavored.
There still definitely is a little bit of that sweet wood flavor.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, initially, I'm actually very happy with how much cherry is coming through.
I do get that a little bit in there, yeah.
It has like right in the beginning, it just gives you a little tap,
Just a little
tap of the cherry, alongside a little bit of chocolate,
like that real dark chocolate.
and then after that, it's like fortissimo of the bourbon flavor.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's
That's
really nice.
One of the better bourbon barrel aged stouts that I've had.
Yeah,
I put that up there with the Kentucky breakfast stout or with Goose Island.
yeah. I'm actually, I wouldn't be sad if they made this every year.
You got to remember, this took
Hint,
2 years to
Bearded
make.
Iris. I know. Start right now and just keep doing it.
This was what, $20 a bottle?
Yeah, it's
Worth it.
Worth it.
Worth it. This is fantastic.
It is.
I wish I had
I'm
another
honestly really, really liking that cherry flavor.
one. Oh, me too. This
This
is
is really nice.
really great. As always, if we think the beer flavor changes as it warms up, as most beers do, we will let you know. Otherwise, we are about to delve into Pup's most recent album entitled Morbid Stuff.
Oh yeah.
Morbid is dark, like this beer. What? Anyways, Morbid Stuff came out in 2019.
Heck yeah, it did.
What month was it?
April.
April or April? So it's like
Came out recently.
it's like a month old, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is their third full length, like we said, from the Canadian. I don't know what we settled on last week. Garage punk
Rock, pop rock band.
I think this album pushes their sound a little bit farther. Their writing has definitely improved.
Yeah, I agree.
They sound tighter than ever,
Yes.
and the production I think is up.
Yeah, it's definitely up. It's a little bit less gritty.
Yeah,
It's more uniform.
it's not as polished as say like a Coldplay album.
No, definitely not. But it's
Still a
a lot
little
more
gritty,
polished
but
than
it's
their first two albums.
Agreed, way more polished.
Yeah.
So they've progressed every single album sound wise.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just super stoked on this album.
Yeah,
Like
same
last
here.
week, I don't have any number ratings.
Are you doing the same rating system?
I've got a similar rating,
Dogs, dog breeds.
maybe, but I'm gonna have 3 recommendations, and I might have had 2 honorable mentions.
Okay.
I had a hard time.
I mean, just like last week, I don't have any recommendations because I think the whole album is fantastic.
Well, I do too. I think it should be listened to front to back, but I always like to give recommendations for this podcast.
Okay.
To say like if you don't want to listen to a whole album and you can only
Just
have
check
time
out
to
these
check out a couple,
couple
check out
songs.
these. Anyways, shall we delve in?
We shall.
Track number 1 is called Morbid Stuff, and I gave it a rating
Morbid
of
Stuff.
Lassie.
Lassie, are you
Not-
doing movie dogs?
Perhaps.
Which one's going to be Air Bud?
I don't know. As per usual, this is a great opener.
Mm-hmm.
Classic pup sound. In the intro, just like the first record, this intro is in a little bit of a different time signature.
Yes.
It's in some type of subdivided 11/4. So that means 11 beats
Something like that, yeah.
on a quarter note. So
On a
one.
quarter note, yep.
How would you? I think I would count it at like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that. You can
1
do...
2 3 1 2 3 1 2 down
Yeah.
It took me a while to figure out like how that is most comfortable to me is a bunch of 3 3s and then 1 2 3. But this is heavy and in your face.
Yeah, it is.
You can immediately notice a production shift.
Yep, you definitely can.
I don't remember if there was much harmonies on the first album, but I think on this song there's some nice harmonies in the chorus.
In the first album, there weren't as many harmonies, more just like backing
vocals.
vocals of singing, maybe doubling the melody or something like that. Or just adding extra ones like a call and response type thing.
Yeah. But in this one, you actually hear a little bit of harmonies. And there's going to be more harmonies later, which is nice.
Yes.
But this has a theme of like the end of the world or death, and also a failed relationship.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about like all those morbid stuff and thinking about death and like what's it all mean? Like that, it's a little existential and morbid sounding,
Yeah.
which is a theme that will recur
Yeah.
a couple times.
Definitely a lot of existential themes in this.
Yeah. They're an existential band. You know,
Pondering about your existence and whatnot. Which is, I'm surprised if you don't do that on the reg.
Well, sometimes that's a bit much to do, you know? I mean, it's good
Yeah.
to think about that, to put everything in perspective, but I think it's unhealthy to obsess over. Well, it's unhealthy to obsess over anything, but it's unhealthy, I think, to think about that a lot because you're really
Yeah.
not going to live in the moment then.
That's probably a good point.
I mean, it'll help you live in the moment if you think about it from time to time, but if you think about it too much, I think it'll
That's
pull you out of the
why
moment.
Whenever I go on a flight, I'm always put in my place.
Yeah. how
Especially
quick
if
it
I have
can
a
end.
window seat. That I just like look down, and especially the moments whenever you're coming back into a city, and you're still maybe like 10,000 feet above,
Yeah.
but you can still see the highways and the cars,
It's creepy.
and you're like,
The cars look like ants.
oh my, yeah, like they look like little ants.
Creepy. I hate that.
And I'm like, wow, I am very small.
And different side note based on what you're saying, I just recently watched the movie First Man. I don't know if you heard of that. Ryan Gosling plays
Neil Armstrong?
Neil Armstrong, yeah. It just came out this past year.
I actually have never heard of that movie. I just guessed based on the
Good
title.
guess. It came out. It was either, I think it was late 2018. Super good movie. It follows him like when he gets accepted for the Gemini program all the way up to when
Yeah.
he lands on the moon.
Yeah,
But they're showing like he's piloting this one. It's like a
like a
military
one-man plane
and he goes up essentially into space.
into like the stratosphere or something.
No, into space, and like he's coming
Passing.
back, and he bounces off of the atmosphere and almost floats off into space.
Really?
But he maneuvers his ship to come. It's like the whole movie is a slow burn. I would say it's not like a really like, it's not a blockbuster movie.
Yeah.
But like those moments, like it's so intense. Like my heart was racing. I was like, oh gosh, I hate this. Oh,
Yeah.
There's so much peril.
Oh my gosh.
And like they show like what it's like actually like to be in a cockpit when all these things are happening, and it's just alarming that people actually did that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Whenever I think about that kind of stuff, I'm always like, man, I really wish that I could do that. But then I'm like,
I couldn't.
maybe I really don't wish that I could do that.
I remember Apollo 13 was my favorite movie growing up. Still probably my favorite top 5 movies.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be an astronaut when I was a kid. I was like, I'm going to be an astronaut. I'm not smart enough or gifted enough to be an astronaut, even if I wanted to. But now that I know what all it like entails,
It's like,
no way. That's you've got to be.
You got to be very dedicated and
slightly psychopathic.
really
like, you got to really like
crazy.
not like you got to have that turn off the death the fear of death.
because like there are so many moments when
crazy
death is like the Grim Reaper is like tapping on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Like,
Psychopathic's
hey, if you
a bad
do this,
term, but you know what I mean. Like you got to be able to toggle off the will to live switch.
Yeah,
not will to live, but the danger. I don't know the
danger
zone.
zone.
I got a hard time describing it, but you got to have a really particular personality for that.
Ooh.
Let's move on to the second track, shall we? This is called Kids.
Kids.
I gave this an honorable mention.
I know you didn't like this song as much as the other ones, but this is one of my favorites.
I honorably mentioned it.
I know.
And I gave it a rating of Buddy from Air Bud. As soon as you said Air Bud, I was like, he's on to me. So it's Buddy. I love that movie. The first one where he's playing basketball still. I even like the football ones.
The first one was the best one.
Yeah.
I remember watching that and being like, this movie's really dumb, but I like it a lot.
Yes.
Thinking of like the concept of a dog playing basketball, I was just like, this is so dumb, but it's awesome.
You have to pass him the ball so he can shoot.
Yeah.
But he scored.
He's super good at it.
Anyways, Kids was the first single released from the album.
Yeah.
When they announced the album, they put this one out. And Stephen Babcock, he is the singer. He gave a nice quote about this album.
About the song or the album?
The album, but mainly the song. So definitely just the song.
Okay.
Here's what he had to say. He said, Kids is a love song from one nihilistic depressive to another.
Yeah.
It's about what happens when you stumble across the only other person on the face of the godless, desolate planet that thinks that everything is twisted and as effed up as you do. And thanks to them, the world starts to seem just a little less bleak, but only slightly.
Yeah.
Still pretty effed up, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that's what he's talking about. And when you think of that context, the lyrics 100% make sense.
Yeah, they definitely do. Like, what's like one of the first lyrics? Blah, 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 blah. He says,
I've been walking through this mindless, godless existence, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, where he's like talking, kind of.
All the verses, for the most part, there are some sing parts in the verses, but for most of it, it's like a talking sing.
Yeah.
I don't know how you describe that, but it's a different style for him, I'd say. But the melody of the chorus kind of reminds me of the song Can't Win from The Dream Is Over.
Yeah, definitely.
That song goes, and it feels like I can't win.
I'm growing up and I'm giving in.
And so that melody
And
kind
it's
of
starting to hurt.
makes a vague revisit here, but
Definitely, I think it's just the, and it feels like da-da-da. It's like just that kind of theme,
that part comes
melodic
back,
theme
that
comes
motif.
back. Yeah.
like I touched upon last episode, their videos are great, and this song is no exception. They released a music video that's a little futuristic. It shows them 20 years in the future, 30 years
Something
in the future.
like that, yeah.
And they're all in crazy places, and there's playing video games like virtual reality. I'm in a band. It was almost like Black Mirror-esque.
Yeah,
the
in a way.
technology at least.
Yeah,
not the themes, but it's a really cool video. It's fun to watch. I'd recommend checking that out if you get a chance.
Yes, for sure.
Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Track number 3 is called Free at Last. It's my first rating, and I gave it a rating of... It's my first recommendation. Sorry for my bad phrasing. My first recommendation, and I gave it a rating of Snoopy.
Snoopy.
Everyone's most favorite beagle, I would assume. This has this little guitar line at the intro, and it sounds like a metal song. Bow, down, down. But very quickly, you find out it's not a metal song.
I was kissing you with salty lips.
Yeah, it's a very poppy song. One of my favorite melodies on the album, I'd say. Yeah. This song is about being in a bad place, either sad or depressed, after a breakup. And not after a break, maybe I don't know if it's about a breakup.
Could be, yeah.
But it's just being sad or depressed. And you're trying to feel bad when somebody else says to you, just because you're sad again, it doesn't make you special at all.
Yeah.
Just because you're sad again, it doesn't make you special at all. Just because you're sad again, doesn't make you special. Yeah. Super high intensity. This song also has a music video. What Pup did was a few months before the album came out, they sent everyone on their email list
yeah.
a PDF of the lyrics and the chord chart.
Yeah.
And they said, based on this, try and film yourself playing our song. So you don't know how the melody's supposed to go, the tempo or the sound or anything. You just have the actual chords like C, D, B, whatever. And you have the lyrics. And they're like, film yourself trying to figure out what our song sounds like. And so tons of people sent them in. And they spliced them together and made a music video out of it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And they're actually in the video themselves, Pup, like a lot of weird Photoshop or like green screen stuff. It's really funny if you ever watch it. But I think Finn Wolfhard, the guy from Stranger Things and from the new It movie, he does his own little cover of it.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, it's really goofy.
He likes Pup a lot.
He does.
Yeah.
Finn Wolfhard. What a name.
Wolfhardenstein.
Wolfhard. Shall I move on?
Yeah.
Track number 4 is called See You at Your Funeral. It's my second recommendation.
It's a good song.
And I gave this a rating of Toto.
Toto.
Toto the dog, not the band. There's no place like home, Toto. I think this song is my favorite on the album.
Really?
Yes.
It is a great song.
Musically, like the chord choices and the melody remind me of an older pop song.
Yeah.
And when I say older, I mean like 50s or 60s pop. I'm not talking about like the punk sounds or the timbre of his voice or the heavy guitars.
Just like the melody?
Just the chord choices and the melodies. I could see this being like a 50s or 60s pop song. But they set it to like this garage punk rock, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little bit of an outlier in that respect, but it's great. This song's about him like trying to better himself after a breakup and kind of fantasizing about running into his ex.
Yeah.
And he has some great lyrics about like trying to better himself. Like after the breakup, he's like, I try vegan food, I take up medication, blah 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 blah. But my favorite line,
meditation. Isn't it meditation?
Medication, according to this website.
Oh, I thought it was meditation.
It could be meditation. Maybe this site's.
I take up meditation.
It's either meditation or medication. You decide.
I feel like
Pup can decide. We'll consult the actual lyric sheet later, but
yeah.
Later on in the second verse is where I think the vocal shines through, and I'm just going to read the entire verse, if you'll permit me. He says, "What were you thinking when you saw me in the produce section, buying organic foods, making healthy selections? I asked how you've been, not that it's any of my business, but you know me, I've always been a little masochistic."
Oh, I love that part too.
But you know me, I've always been a little masochistic.
So obviously it's going to hurt him to like know what she's been up to.
Yeah.
But he's got to ask.
Yeah.
'Cause he's masochistic. But I love him. Like, he's like, what'd you think when you saw me like bettering myself by making healthy selections?
Yeah.
I just love that. It's just really, it seems like something that actually happened, even though I'm not sure if it did or not.
Yeah.
It just seems very real.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's
I hope you're doing fine on your own. 'Cause after everything we've been through, do. Great song.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't spend all day on that. Let's move on to track number 5, which is called Scorpion Hill.
Scorpion Hill. This is that story one that I was talking about.
It's my third recommendation.
It's
3
a great
recommendations in a row, and I gave this a rating of Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo!
What's new, Scooby-Doo? This song, at least I'd say the A section of the song,
Yeah,
is an outlier for pop.
definitely. Oh,
Folky
definitely.
sounding.
Yeah, it's very folky.
And they're not a folky
Like
band.
just acoustic guitar, but more like a
Up
folky
on
chord.
Scorpion Hill.
Up on Scorpion Hill, watching life.
So he's not shredding his vocals for once, which is crazy. But then there's a B section where it moves into like a fast folky punk, which is
Yeah,
still
like a folk
unlike
punk,
them.
yeah.
And then the chorus comes in and you're back to classic pop.
Yeah.
And like every single different section is fantastic.
Yeah.
But the chorus is really good. Down and out, I've been on the rocks. I've been having some pretty dark thoughts. And it's like classic pop, but the combination of all those parts strung together makes for a really cool song.
Yeah, it definitely does.
It's great the entire way through. And this is a fairly long song.
It is. It's over 5 minutes, I believe.
I think it's their longest running time of any of their songs because they don't really have long songs in general. But either way, great song.
Yeah, it's like it shows a story of like from this dad's perspective.
Yeah, he's lost his job,
Lost his job,
substance
and
abuse.
Yeah,
trying to support It's like I can barely support a second. How do you expect me to support a third? So I guess they're
I can barely support the two of us.
Yeah.
How can I support a third?
So he doesn't know where to go.
Yeah.
And I think they kind of leave it there. They don't really give you a conclusion.
There's no really resolution in that song.
Yeah. It would be nice if he had
some
closure. Which brings us to the next song, track number 6, which is called Closure.
Yeah.
I gave this a rating of Odie.
Odie.
What a great little guy.
I love Odie.
He's a simple dog.
What kind of dog is Odie based off of?
I have no idea. It's hard to tell.
He's like
some kind of mutt.
For those of you who don't know who Odie is,
Garfield.
how the heck you do not? But he's from the comic strip Garfield.
Or I guess the Bill Murray
movie.
I never saw that.
It's just, I don't know. I just stick with the comic strip for Garfield, and that's about it. There was also a video game made.
I bet you there was a couple.
Yeah.
But speaking of the movie with Bill Murray, do you remember in Zombieland when they meet Bill Murray and he's dying and they're like, Emma Stone says, "Do you have any regrets?" And he's like, "I don't know, maybe Garfield." I love that line.
That's pretty funny.
It is.
Oh my gosh.
But anyways, Closure. This song is
Closure,
about
yeah.
somebody close to the narrator. I don't know if it's Stefan or if he's making this up.
Yeah.
Has died. Someone close to them. So it's kind of similar to that other song from the first record where he's talking about the funeral, Dark Days. But here he's at a funeral and he's watching the deceased go into the cold dirt.
Mm-hmm.
So he's upset, obviously confused and lost, and he needs closure. I really enjoy the first time he says, "I need closure." He says, "I need closure." And then almost everything cuts out except for this guitar where he strums the entire guitar chord. I can't make that noise with my mouth.
Yeah.
But you imagine him playing
the
the entire power chord like super fast. A lot of times people will play that speed on one note, but he plays the entire chord that fast, and it just sounds so cool after the first chorus. Super catchy and fast, classic pop song.
I particularly very much like the bridge on this song. It kind of goes like halftime, like swing kind of, and I think the melody's like, "I don't need you to be fine. I don't need you to come back."
Yeah,
it's just so catchy.
Very catchy.
It's
just a
classic
classic pop.
Yeah,
Classic pop.
Classic.
Shall we move on to some more classic pop?
Yeah.
Track number 7 is called Bloody Mary, Kate, and Ashley. So hilarious. I gave this a rating of Clifford. The big red dog. Red like blood. Oh, it's related to the song. Oh!
Wow, you're a champion.
Yeah, I'm not.
Clifford the big red dog.
I love the title.
You remember that PBS show?
Yes, I do. Clifford the Big Red Dog. I made some books out of it, too.
Yeah.
But the title of the song is hilarious.
Yes, it is.
Bloody Mary is that game where you, go in the dark in your bathroom and you say Bloody Mary 3 times into the mirror.
3 times, yeah.
But he's talking also about Mary,
Bloody
Kate,
Mary,
and Ashley
Kate
Olsen.
and Ashley.
So funny. So it's morbid, it's dark, and it's satirical.
And this is another one where they mess with the time signatures a little bit.
Yeah, I think it switches between 11, 4, and 12, 11, 8, and 12, 8, I think.
Yeah, 11, 8, and 12, 8, yeah.
This song starts off with some crazy tritone. Bam, bam, bam. Ticka, 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 bam, bam, bam. Ticka, ticka. Almost satanic sounding, like super dissonant sounding chords.
Yeah.
I think that kind of kicks home the satanic theme of the song. Satanic drug-fueled song.
Yeah.
This song talks about him playing Bloody Mary, but also setting up pentagrams and having rituals. But then he sees ghosts or spirits or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Are you real or am I just tripping?"
Is it just the drugs that I'm taking? Is that why I'm seeing all this, or is this all real?
It's pretty funny.
So I guess kind of like I don't know. Maybe it's more serious than we think.
I don't know.
Maybe he's trying to ask well, is there really this kind of stuff out there, or maybe he had an experience like that.
I think he's tripping.
Probably.
Because he's talking to, I think, the ghost later. He's like, "Do you prefer Ashley or Mary Kate?"
Yeah.
It's why would you ever say it to a ghost? That's not a ghost. I mean, you can say whatever you want to a ghost if you come across one, but that's not, I think, what most people would ask.
Yeah.
Shall we move on?
That's such a weird poll.
Super
Mary
weird.
Kate and Ashley.
Yeah.
They were from. They're not popular anymore. They're not prominent in the scene anymore.
I mean, Full House is still fairly.
Yeah, but
that was big
so weird.
It still somehow lives.
Yeah, it's just so strange.
But yeah, they're not as relevant as they used to be, for sure.
Yeah.
Moving on to track number 8, it's called Sibling Rivalry. I gave this
Great
a
song.
honorable mention and a rating of Wishbone.
What's the story, Wishbone?
Now, do you remember, I believe he was talking about his sister in Yukon, going
Yeah.
camping, I think?
Yep.
This song is also about his sister.
Mm.
Apparently, Stefan used to go camping with his sister often. And in this song in particular, he like gets stuck in some pretty crummy situations with her. Like getting in like sewagey water and stuck and stuff.
Ew. There is.
And so he's like super frustrated, and then she like grinds his gears because she knows how to get under his skin and push his buttons.
Yeah.
And other cliche terms for getting on his nerves.
Yep. Which is also a cliche term for that.
It is. She knows how to bother him because she knows she's his sister.
Knows how to annoy him.
Yeah, and so he's just like really, really annoyed this song. But the chorus is dynamite on the song.
Yeah.
It says, I'm not trying to stick it to you, but I've been trying to through to you. I've been trying to get through you. That's what he says. But just that line all the way up and then coming back down. Very pleasing melody. It's very pleasing to hear that.
Yeah. For sure.
I love that song. That's why I honorably mentioned it.
Ooh.
Let's move on to track number 9, which is called Full Blown Meltdown.
Full blown meltdown.
I gave this a rating of Cujo. Crazy dog for a crazy song.
This is also another kind of outlier on the album.
Probably the most intense song on the album.
Intense, heavy, driving.
Almost like post-hardcore.
Yeah.
This is similar to Old Wounds, the song on When the Dream Is Over. Like the real intense song.
Yes.
Where it's less like singing, more just like post-hardcore, like talking, gruff screaming almost.
Yeah.
It's full of self-deprecation, this song. Like if you look up the lyrics. But I am more interested in the music than the lyrics. The chord choices that they make and like the precision that they hit, everything, it's really well done. Very good musicianship on the song.
Yeah,
I think it's very good.
It's a fantastic song.
Yeah. Moving on to track number 10. The penultimate track is called Bare Hands. I gave this
Bare
rating
Hands.
Balto because he
I
uses
love
bare
this.
paws to get people to Alaska and stuff.
I love this.
It is. This song is about...
What movie is Balto from?
He's from the movie Balto.
Oh. I thought for some reason I thought he was from All Dogs Go to Heaven.
No, I don't know the characters in that
Neither do
movie.
I.
He's from the movie Balto, and probably Balto 2, I guess.
Balto.
Oh, I wish they called it that.
Balto. Not Balto.
But this song's about waiting for an ex to reach out when they're feeling lonely. Like you were broken up, and the ex has reached out to you a few times, and you're just waiting for it.
Yeah.
He uses the metaphor or reference, bare hands holding onto a wire. And when you think about that,
I'm always tired.
he's like holding on and waiting for a spark.
A wire?
Like waiting for a spark between your ex. But if you're holding on with bare hands, any spark is going to be damaged.
Or maybe it's a telegram.
I don't think so.
Telegram wire.
But if any spark with bare hands is going to be detrimental. It's going to be bad for you. So he's going to get hurt if she reaches out. Nice. I think it's a really cool metaphor.
Yeah.
Very catchy.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Shall we move on to the last song?
Let's.
The song's called City, and I gave it a rating of Old Yeller.
Old Yeller?
Yeah. Slow song on the album. There's not really much in the way of slow songs on this album. Like I think most songs are usually a pretty good pace, if not fast.
This one.
This is
one's
the finally
actually
get to a
also
slow
kind
one.
of an outlier.
It is.
It definitely like starts off just really soft and quiet.
Mainly guitar and vocals at the beginning. Yeah. And a light drum beat on the tom.
Yeah, still a really catchy melody though.
Yeah, very catchy chorus. But just when you think that the song is going to be slow the entire time, the guitars get loud, the vocals get gruff, and the aggressive drums come in, and a guitar solo starts, and it's intense.
Yeah.
And it pretty much goes that way to the outro.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to interpret this song. You can take it a couple different ways, but I'll let you guys figure it out. It's just it's a good way to close the album because you think it's going to be a slow burn, and then the slow burn actually
lights a fire.
The slow burn is
ignites.
What's the thing on the end of like a firecracker? The
fuse?
Yeah, it's a fuse, and then you get to the firecracker and it explodes, and it's a crazy outro.
Yeah. It's
great,
very, very
great
cool.
end of the album.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Which album would you prefer, the first or this? If you had to pick one.
If I had to pick an album, can I include the second one too, or just one and 3?
Go ahead and pick the second one if you want to.
Honestly, I think I prefer Morbid Stuff, the third one.
I think I go 2, 1, 3.
213.
So Dream is Over, pop Morbid Stuff.
You like Morbid Stuff the least?
I like it the least, but I love it.
Yeah.
So I can't say that it's bad. Like I love it less than the other two.
If I was maybe let's see here.
It's hard to say, you know.
Yeah, if I was if all of these albums, if I had to rate them either 10, 9.9, or 9.8, let's say that.
Okay.
So they're all very close. I think it would probably be 2 is 10, The Dream is Over.
Uh-huh.
And then 3 is 9.9. Morbid Stuff is 9.9, and the self-title is 9.8.
So you're 231.
231, yeah.
I'm 213.
Yeah.
Oh, so still
213. What area code is that? Quick.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I only know 412.
I only know 651 and 615.
615. 651.
And 612.
What's 612?
Another one in Minnesota.
What's Chicago? That's
984.
it's
I actually don't know.
on the Goose Island can. They've got like a number that's related. Like
Do they?
The 61 something or other.
614.
What is it? The something. While we continue this, I'm going to look it up. Give your
Okay.
last thoughts on Morbid Stuff, though.
Last thoughts on Morbid Stuff. Well, this is a fairly fresh album. It's only been
A month
and a half, because it came out April 4th, right?
Yeah.
So it's been a month and a half since it's been released, and I literally listened to this album on repeat in my car for like 2 weeks because I liked it a lot.
I love this album.
Yeah, it's just it's so fantastic.
Their other albums have withstood the few years that they've been around. I
Yes.
foresee that this will too.
Yep.
I look forward to seeing them again, and I look forward to anything they put out in the future.
Yeah,
Great band.
it'll definitely be one of those albums that if I had to choose 10 or 20 albums to bring on a road trip, I would choose this one.
Agreed.
This would be in the top 5 albums I would choose to bring on a road trip.
Maybe top 10 for me, not top 5, but it's up there. I
Well,
would be happy with it.
I'm just exaggerating.
Yeah, but it's great. Looking forward to next week. It's a repeating number, episode number 77. And I think we had said before what we're going to review, but let's just say it again.
For
I
posterity's
have
sake.
recommended for you to listen to Alkaline Trio's album, My Shame Is True.
My Shame Is True. That's what it is. Yep.
And I will be listening to...
Frightened Rabbit's album, Painting of a Panic Attack.
Yeah. And I've listened to it quite a few times. I think it's a fantastic album so far. But it's...
I've actually listened to Alkaline Trio quite a few times too.
Oh, yeah? You like it? Too?
Yeah, I like it.
I really like Painting of a Panic Attack.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because the last time I reviewed a Frightened Rabbit album, Scott Hutchinson was still alive.
Yeah.
So this is...
And yeah, get ready for a heavy episode.
It's going to be very heavy, yeah.
That album is full of...
It's dark.
Full of dark themes.
Yeah. Any last thoughts on the beer also?
Let me give one more try here real quick.
I think it's great. I think it's sweetened up just a hair. It's not... I still wouldn't call it a sweet beer, but I'm getting a little bit more sweet notes.
Yeah, definitely more sweet notes, but I think the sweet notes now are kind of coming from the maltiness.
Yeah.
A little bit. I'm getting a
agree.
little bit less cherry. A little bit less cherry kick in the beginning,
I'm still getting the cherry, I think.
but it's not gone. I'm just
Fantastic
getting
beer,
less.
though.
It's very, very good, yeah.
I wish I had gotten another bottle of this, in all honesty. That's okay, though.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
They were $20.
So
$20.
we already talked about next week.
Yep.
If you want to recommend an album, reach out to us, questions, concerns, just want to say hi. Hit us up on all social medias, American Brews and Tunes. Send us an email at americanbrewsandtunes@gmail.com, or go to our website, brewsandtunespodcast.com. Let's give our cheers real quick.
All right, we shall.
That was a very stretched out cheers. Nice. Delicious. Once again, my name is Stephen Johnston.
And my name is Jesse Titus.
And this is American Brews and Tunes.
Thanks for listening.
Here's a theme song, you know it's not a mean song. It's a good song, just as it should song. American